jump it up for Quinnipiac against TK Idogi for Iona. And the Bobcats win the tip, and we are underway. Quinnipiac comes in winners of 3 in a row, 6-4 in the MAC. Very surprising after being picked last in the preseason poll. Iona 7-3. They've lost 2 out of 3, but had won 5 in a row before that. Much rebounds the Bundu miss.
What a big test here for Quinnipiac, being here at Iona. Not easy to win games here. A seasoned team with a seasoned coach in Tim Clues.
Young rebounds the first shot of the game for Iona, missed by Deshaun Much. This is Cameron Young, who we spotlighted a moment ago. Here shoots a 3. Rebounded by Crawford. Iona has been the league's most successful team over the last 7 or 8 years. Back-to-back MAC championships, going for 3 straight this year. And a team that loves to shoot 3-pointers and push the tempo.
And that's something that this team can do well. Very good at spreading the floor, spacing it out. They've got a lot of playmakers at the guard spot, and McGill, one of their best ones in that regard.
Rigoni, one of the country's top 3-point shooters, off the mark, rebounded nicely by Bundu, but he traveled. Quinnipiac led by first-year head coach Baker Dunleavy. 9-13 his record. Spent the last 5 years as an assistant at Villanova, his alma mater. 34 years old. First head coaching job in a famous lineage he comes from.
Right, his father coaches at Tulane now, and Mike Dunleavy Sr., a very well-known player in his own right and coach at the NBA level. Another one. 2 mid-range jumpers to start the game here for Iona.
Baker's brother, Mike Dunleavy Jr., played 14 years in the NBA. He told us he recently retired.
Snickers satisfies.
Apologize for the transmission issues and the technical difficulties back here in New Rochelle, with Iona leading Quinnipiac 4-2 about 3 minutes into the game. Cameron Young just scored his first 2 of the game for the Bobcats. Good pass inside for Bundu, who lays it in.
Good ball movement. Quinnipiac is patient. They've got lots of guys touching the basketball. It's when they look their best.
Quinnipiac has had a successful season, but they don't want to run up and down the court with Iona. Very few teams do.
This is going to be about tempo. I mean, Iona wants to run, and Quinnipiac's going to want to slow this thing down, make this more of a half-court game. That's a walk. He rolled all the way onto his back hit the ground.
Instead, another opportunity as Crawford too strong. Bundu snatches the board. Slow start for both teams here offensively. Kelly, the freshman, knocks it down.
And that's what Kelly does. He just controls the tempo for this team. He knows how to play with poise and get himself open and get other guys involved as well.
Averages 10 points a game, the 2-time MAC Rookie of the Week, Rich Kelly from Shelton, Connecticut. First recruit signed by Baker Dunleavy. Crawford wide open, scores.
Too easy for Iona to get these mid-range jumpers, and their home rims have been good to them to start this ball game.
Crawford comes off a career-high 26 points, also had 7 rebounds in Iona's last game against Fairfield, which was a 103-100 overtime loss to the Stags.
A tough one to lose, and it's his stomach.
Out of bounds will send us to a timeout. Tied up at 6 here early in New Rochelle.
The way that his system is, you talk to other coaches around the league and around the country, and even talking to Baker Dunleavy about Tim, and they just all take note of how his players do what he says, that they do what he wants, and that's the sign of a good coach.
Shays Daniels just into the game and scores immediately for Quinnipiac, now on an 8-2 run. Crawford draws contact at the side of the backboard. It's rebounded by Cameron Young, the team's leading rebounder and scorer.
A good rotation there for Quinnipiac defensively. Remember, again, if this game is in the half court, all the more merry for Quinnipiac.
Good patience here with 6 on the shot clock. Young probing for a better shot. Short pass to Washington, who lays it in.
But that's the way to dive into the open space, and Washington seeing the situation conspire, and he gets to the basket into space.
Washington graduated in 3 years from Penn State as McGill answers at the other end. Washington, the rare graduate transfer who has 2 years of eligibility left.
That's pretty cool. I mean, a high-level player, and he's just been tremendous, getting to the free throw line, defending, and of course getting it done in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Robert, I think that's what matters.
Pursuing his MBA as Shays Daniels scores again. 4 quick points for him. Crawford the open 3. And all alone for the rebound, Cameron Young. And Tim Cluse told us Quinnipiac will not push the tempo. They will deliberately slow it down every opportunity they have, and we've seen Rich Kelly walking it across the timeline time after time.
The style of program that he wants is a sharing the basketball, playing selflessly type of program, 4 out, 1 in. I mean, he comes from Villanova with a 4-guard lineup.
Saturday on ESPN, we've got the basketball version of the Red River rivalry at 6:15 Eastern, 5:15 Central, when Trey Young and the 12th-ranked Sooners take on Texas. Then it's a Big Ten matchup at Assembly Hall. Number 5 Michigan State and Indiana. Both games are on ESPN and live on the ESPN app.
That Texas-Oklahoma game, I mean, Oklahoma's lost their last few road games, and Texas coming off of that heartbreaking loss on Wednesday at Texas Tech. But it should be a good matchup, as always.
Trey Young's involved, you know you want to be watching, but Texas has some strong players as well, most notably Mo Bamba, a terrific big man. Quinnipiac playing well here early with a 4-point lead. Kelly will pull up for 3. Rebounded by Jan Svanderlik, a senior from the Czech Republic. Pick and roll. Idogi follows it. Did he tip it in while it was on the cylinder?
No, they're not calling it a basket. But TK Idogi has been playing with a lot more confidence the last few games. He's got that ability to hang in the air. Great hustle here to get the second chance opportunity off of the offensive board, and that leads to you getting to the foul line.
Idogi has really come on of late over his last 4 games, averaging about 14 and 9.5 boards. He's a good free throw shooter at 81%, although he is off the mark to start here.
Earlier in the season, Idogi was more of a hit-or-miss player. You weren't sure kind of what to expect, but he is coming on at the right time and just being aggressive.
Misses 2 free throws. Rigoni the rebound. Iona made 2 of its first 3 shots. Since then, 2 out of 9. Quinnipiac has taken advantage. Young left alone for 3.
Oh, you can't go underneath that screen. Cam Young will nail it, and that was so open.
McGill knocks it down. Ricky McGill was 7 already. Preseason second-team All-Max selection. Junior from Spring Valley, New York, which is over in Rockland County, just across the Tappan Zee Bridge. Steal and a foul. Cameron Young, his first.
Personal foul on Cameron Young. Next one foul on Young, second on the team. Aaron Robinson, number 0.
My mistake, that 3-pointer was made by Zach Lewis, not Ricky McGill. Lewis, his first 3 of the game. Lewis, who is a grad transfer in his own right, started his career at Canisius. for 2 years, played last year at UMass, and now finishing up his career at Iona. Roland Griffin off the mark with his first shot.
And Iona here in a 2-3 zone that they've been staying in.
Rebounded by Daniels, who scores.
What a hustle. Daniels has been so great off the glass. Just finding position.
Lewis, another three. And Daniels has been very active since coming in.
Well, that's what they want from him. They want him to come in, be a spark, be that low post player that can also pass out if he gets doubled, which we've seen him do.
Pounded down low to Daniels. Left-handed baby hook, rebounded by Svanderlik. Griffin is fouled. You may have seen it online at SportsIllustrated.com earlier this week. We'll tell you the story of Quinnipiac junior Abdoulaye Bundu when we... Certainly a shooting slump doesn't seem so important when you've gone through things like that in your background.
4 refugee camps. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
And averaging about 5.5 points and 5.5 rebounds per game this season. As Roland Griffin makes a couple of free throws for Iona.
Iona with their full court press here. But Quinnipiac pretty good at getting out of it and being patient, slowing the tempo here, which is why they've kept this lead.
Quinnipiac comes into the game in 5th place in the conference standings. The top 5 teams get a first-round bye at the MAC tournament. So currently in the top 5 are the Bobcats. Iona tied for 3rd, but just a game and a half behind first-place Rider. Quinnipiac's only 2.5 games behind. Young gets it up on the rim. Griffin, the athletic rebound. Gales on the run.
Quinnipiac's got to find a way to send someone to that short corner.
Good defense here by the Bobcats. Casimir, nifty move.
But Casimir's so quick, he had the layup. That time, one extra pass too many. Should have taken it.
First turnover for the Gales. Washington back in along with Bundu.
You see how quick he can take this. I mean, if that's me, I'm head faking going up because he already got Daniels in the air off the ground.
One thing Quinnipiac has not done so far is turn it over a lot, which is how Iona really thrives and gets out in the open court. Taking good care of the ball and sharing the ball, which you mentioned Baker Dunleavy talked about. Washington, the fadeaway.
Nice little move by Washington. Each time, offensively, they've gotten what they've wanted. Just
high percentage shots.
Yeah, they're taking good shots and making good passes.
Lewis, the jumper from mid-range again.
Iona can get that all day. I mean, that mid-range jumper, foul line extended, is always going to be there. And as long as these guards are making those shots, they're going to be all right.
Young sizing up Griffin, steps back for 3. And a foul on the rebound. Our next NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC. James Harden, Chris Paul, and the Rockets are in Cleveland to take on LeBron and the Cavs. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You can always catch it on the ESPN app if you're out and about. Julianne very immersed in the NBA scene. LeBron to the Warriors. Wow, what would that be like?
It's been a big quote-unquote rumor. Let's see if it really happens. And we were talking to Coach Clues about it before the game, and you know, none of us would be surprised. You know, it's all about getting rings. It's all about getting championships, one-upping the guy from years ago like Michael Jordan. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised. It would bug me because I really don't want to see them all on the same team because I mean, come on, that would be the ultimate big three.
Big five even.
Just crazy to me, because they would just blow through everyone.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a lot of competitiveness, you wouldn't think, in terms of who's going to win the championship if you're rolling out Steph, Klay Thompson, LeBron, KD, and Draymond Green. That's a pretty good starting lineup.
Exactly.
Just to think about or fantasize about if you're a Warriors fan.
The Cavs struggling here this season.
Aaron Robinson gets on the board. He is one of a pair of twins on this team. His brother Andrew Robinson, who actually plays a bit more than he does, is actually out with a leg injury tonight. So Aaron Robinson picking up the slack with a three.
Getting better, and the guys have been sharpened, and in a strange way, it's made them more comfortable in those situations. So, I mean, I think if I'm Coach Dunleavy, I'm happy with how they've come out on top.
A couple of those wins were by 7 or 8 points, and he said those are basically blowouts for us.
And for Coach Dunleavy, I mean, he's just feeling the day-to-day, just the weight of being a head coach. When you go from being under a guy like Jay Wright for many years, there's different responsibilities, and there's a big difference as a head coach, and he's got his players buying in, which is a good thing.
Wasn't always sure he wanted to be a basketball coach. When he graduated from Villanova, he actually went to work on Wall Street for Merrill Lynch for 4 years in the financial district. Did a lot of trading, worked up to a junior status there, but long days. But then
decided away from hoop in his family.
Couldn't get it out of his blood.
It's in the blood.
He said, I'm a junkie. I watch European basketball. I watch NBA. I watch everything.
His dad's team, I covered them a couple of days ago with Tulane, and they won a close one at ECU on the road.
Kelly, the three. Rebounded by Iona, and then a player went down grabbing at his leg. It looked like Griffin. Bundu the foul. You mentioned that lineage of the Dunleavy family.
And there's Mike Dunleavy Sr., the current head coach, and he has brought a lot over from his coaching days in the NBA, where Mike Dunleavy Jr. has been, into his coaching philosophy. And then Baker, who's been coaching with Jay Wright for a number of years here, where he's learned a lot under him and under his father over the years, where he picks his brain apart quite a bit. But talk about guys that you can glean from to become the best coach. A great pick for Quinnipiac.
He said his dad, who's actually a first-time college coach, will ask him questions about recruiting and regulations and what he can and can't do. Not something he had to worry about in the NBA much. The three. Tayshaun Much, first three of the game.
Iona hitting perimeter shots today, and that's good. They're spacing the floor and getting the open looks. A little bit more of a guard-oriented Iona team this season. Not those big-time bangers inside that they've had in years past.
Last year, as Jordan Washington was the big man in the middle, helping lead the Gales to the MAC championship. Daniels lost it on the way up, gets it back and scores. Chase Daniels with 8 points on 4 out of 5 shooting.
And Eric Eaton is also now on the Iona staff. He actually developed Chase Daniels. So a little connection between the two teams.
Crawford off the mark, rebounded easily by Kelly, who will walk it up the court. Turnover.
And Iona getting some easy looks from the perimeter, and a lot of that has to do with just spacing the floor out. I mean, Much with a wide open look here, and he nails it. And then at the other end, Daniels staying with it, getting bumped, but finishing strong. They need that interior presence for the Bobcats.
Closely played game. Neither team is led by more than 5. Much attacks the rim, hits the side of the backboard. It's rebounded by Quinnipiac.
And the big thing for both these teams is consistency. You talk to both coaches, and neither of them feel that their teams are quite as consistent as they could be. So now you're in the second portion of the season here in conference play, and it's about that time.
Daniels again, he's fouled. Chase Daniels averages 12 points a game.
And he's a guy who's very good at getting to the free throw line, and Coach Dunleavy's asked a little bit different, just a little bit more out of him this season, and he's answered it. He's defended really well. He's used his great size and length, and he's been mobile. And I just think that that's what makes him so tough in this league. He can also guard the perimeter at 6'9", and he's a big guy.
Preseason third-team All-MAC selection. Actually took a 3-game personal leave earlier in the season, back in late December. Had some personal issues to deal with, stepped away from the team for 3 games, and has been a much needed boost when he's come back.
Still working a little bit on the conditioning side of things because he missed some play, but coming on at the right time.
And off to a quick start here in this one. Nine points already for Shays Daniels, senior from Meriden, Connecticut. Iona with its trademark weave action out top. Casimir fouled. It's called on Rich Kelly. It's his first.
Lots of dribble handoffs for Iona that possession, and Casimir able to get to the line. Still been up and down a little bit this season with that hip injury that he had a couple seasons ago, and he's been much more consistent as the season's progressed.
Former MAC Rookie of the Year way back in 2015. Approaching 1,000 points for his career, has about 960 right now, and has always been a tremendous free throw shooter. 89% for his career, 83% this year. Gets 2 there.
And Tim Cluse's teams typically are. I mean, they typically can shoot from the free throw line. They're fundamentally sound.
Iona leading the league in free throw shooting this year as Daniels has it roll off. It's rebounded by McGill. Good defense, good hands there by Young. As Quinnipiac gets the deflection.
And nowhere to go there. And there were no Iona players around to pass to. And when you catch the ball in the lane like that, you've got to be a threat and look to shoot. Look to shoot first and be a threat.
Young too strong, gets his own rebound. It's Robinson. Lewis the board. Gales on the run. Lewis all the way to the rim, scores. Zach Lewis, who averages 8 a game, already has 9 here.
He's had a heck of a game. I mean, he's been aggressive, and they've needed him to do that. And he can get hot in a hurry on offense. Had some big games this season.
But comes off a scoreless effort against Fairfield. Beautiful move by Young.
Nice little Euro step. Young showing his wide range.
Lewis feeling it. Trying to rebound his own miss, and a jump ball. The arrow will favor Iona.
West with the Lakers G League team, and they just really brought a lot of guys throughout their program over the years that have come out just with so much success.
Iona has the most MAC championships of any school in the league. They've been adding to that total of late with titles in 2013, 16, and 17. Kelly to the rim.
Rich Kelly's an interesting story for this team. I mean, when he committed to this group, he thought that he was going to be playing under 4 guys in front of him. They all transferred, and so he stepped into this starting role where he plays a ton of minutes, and a lot has been asked of him to run the show, to run the point. And he's been terrific as just a freshman point guard at this level. It's a huge difference going from high school to college. He's been so good. And while he makes it a turnover, the broadcasters jinx.
To the rim, Crawford, he scores. You mentioned those guards who transferred. You're going to be hearing from a couple of them next year. Quinnipiac had 2 players on the all-rookie team last year. Mikey Dixon, who transferred to St. John's, sitting out this year. And Peter Kiss, who you'll see next season after he sits out this year at Rutgers. Also, some talent on that team last year, but because of all those players who transferred and a new coach, Quinnipiac picked last in the preseason poll, won 10 games a year ago, going for win number 10 already here tonight. 1 on the shot clock, and a shot clock violation.
And Kelly here to the rim with the finish. And he's been real good at the point, but he turns it over afterwards. And what's really happening here is Iona stepping up the intensity defensively. And suddenly you see some turnovers. Quinnipiac wasn't committing earlier in the half. So kudos to Iona for getting a little bit more intense.
Back-to-back possessions with turnovers for Quinnipiac. The Bobcats holding on to a 1-point lead. Idogi. Rebounded by Washington. Final minute of a low-scoring first half. Young has struggled, 2 out of 8, including 0 for 6 from downtown.
And that's the way to make the extra pass. Washington saw he had someone more open in the corner, and that's someone being Cam Young.
It's his first 3-pointer of the game to give himself 7 points. Lewis is Iona's high scorer. Good rebound by Idogi. Iona can hold for 1. 20 seconds left, and Tim Klusel will take his use it or lose it timeout. Iona can hold for the last shot here. Quinnipiac should go into the half with the lead up by 4. Down to 5 seconds. Much stops on a dime. And a terrific first half for Quinnipiac up by 4.
Quinnipiac, for the most part, controlled the tempo, and a little bit of a better job near the end portion of that half by Iona.
Start in place of Deshaun Much to start the second 20 minutes. To reset the shot clock here. Did not start when the game clock started, so they take 2 seconds off the shot clock. New Rochelle, New York, Westchester County, just outside of New York City. These 2 schools separated by about 70 miles. Quinnipiac in the middle part of Connecticut. Depending on traffic, takes somewhere between an hour and a half to get here. Quinnipiac still a relatively new member of the MAC, but 6-4 this year, currently in 5th place in league play. Iona, the 2-time defending champs, in at 7-3. Quinnipiac, a score to start the half.
Continuing to go inside. Quinnipiac has been dominant, and that's just a miscommunication defensively.
Griffin with 4 points off the feed from McGill. Full court press for the Gales as they try to push the tempo. Quinnipiac had only 6 turnovers in that first half to Iona's 4. An Iona team that loves to pass the ball had only 2 assists on 11 made field goals. They start the second half with an assisted field goal. Rigoni, primarily a 3-point shooter, gets the baby hook to go.
A really good job. Quinnipiac just continuing to get what they want within 2-point range and so close to the basket. It's their post players that have done the majority of the heavy lifting for their offense.
Rigoni showing some work on the glass as well. The Australian, his hometown, almost 11,000 miles from Quinnipiac's campus. It's almost as far away as you could get in the entire world. Even the South Pole is closer. Huge jam by Cameron Young. Timeout, Iona.
Advantage of Baker Dunleavy's just style of play, and I think getting the opportunity, he's just been tremendous and stepped up his ability to score.
Bobcats have made all 3 of their shots this half, now shooting 53% for the game, and have opened up their biggest lead. Griffin, rebounded by Bundu. Quinnipiac on a 9-2 run going back to the first half to open up an 8-point lead now early in the second half.
Iona needs to stop bad, and they've got to string together a series of buckets. But it all starts on the defensive end.
Washington. Rebounded by McGill. Nice pass for Casimir. Crazy shot goes to the foul.
And Cedric Casimir with a nice little hezzy and a trick shot. He practices that in his spare time. I mean, that's just a tough shot. You've got to just let that go if you're defending him, realizing that was a harder shot than it was bad defense.
That's when you break out in your game a horse. 9 points for Casimir. None more circus shot-like than that one. 3-point play gives him 9 and cuts the lead back to 5.
See, this is what Iona needs to do, and what they're so capable of is turning you over, being high intensity defensively, lots of energy, and then just making teams bite themselves in the foot with their defensive intensity. It's just so much predicates on that end of the floor.
If there's good news there, it was a dead ball turnover. It didn't lead to a fast break as Iona comes up empty on its ensuing possession. The last thing you want when you play the Gales is a live ball turnover. Let them run down the court and get a three-pointer in transition. This zone defense for Iona.
And they've got Idogi up top. Interesting. They want the long arms and athleticism of him to distract shooters.
Nice pass to Bundu, who will throw it down.
See, that's what happens when you attack it. Just a terrific job by Quinnipiac attacking that zone.
Griffin attacks the rim and scores. 6 points for Griffin. Offense picking up here to start the second half. What's this? Zone defense again here for the Gales.
Idogi again looking to trap here on the wings.
Kelly the open three. And rebounded by McGill. Gales on the run. McGill all the way to the rim. Lays it up and in.
McGill's so quick in transition. When he gets out in the open floor, you can't stop him.
Almost another turnover as Quinnipiac starting to get sucked into a faster tempo here. Young has it stripped. Good effort by Young, but it's out of bounds to Quinnipiac.
And each year, and I mean, that's what you want to see. And the big difference this year with him is he's taken on more of a leadership role, which is the biggest stride, and he works a lot harder than he has in the past. So he's really turned that corner. They've needed that leadership.
In your playing career, how hard was it to be a leader when you're a freshman or a sophomore and you've got a lot of other players older than you are?
It's a little harder because you want to defer to the upperclassmen, and sometimes you end up not even playing as well as you could because of feeling like you need to defer to those guys. But I mean, you've got to learn. I think it's in your DNA. If you're a leader, it's going to come out, and it comes out even more as you get older and you realize that this is your team. And you take that responsibility, and it only makes you better as a player and person.
Iona now on a 9-2 run after the Idogi layup to pull within one.
And that's what we said, Robert, that they needed to do, is string together some stops, and then with that, their offense has gotten flowed.
Offensive foul on Shays Daniels. His second.
Well, Shays Daniels has done a pretty nice job on the block tonight, but dips his elbow a little bit, but also a nice sell there defensively.
Iona still with just 2 3-pointers tonight, although Griffin scores to give the Gales the lead.
What good vision by McGill. And when you play against the 2-3 zone like that, where Quinnipiac was just in it, that area in the back of the zone is always open, almost always. And all you need is a little. It's a little bit confusing as you enter MAC play, but every game here counts, and you want to get the top seeds once MAC tournament play comes.
The MAC tournament in Albany in 4 weeks. The top 5 teams will get a first-round bye, meaning they only have to win 3 games to win the championship. The other 6 teams have to win 4 games. Washington way off.
And Albany hosting the women's regional, which you know UConn will be there as Ricky McGill puts another one in transition, and Iona gets running. They become really hard to stop.
13-2 run now for the Gales. That patented spurtability that Iona has been so successful with. McGill, beautiful steal and saves it inbounds. On the run, Idogi. Off glass and in.
Idogi's been a difference maker here defensively. They put him at the top here of the zone to harass the point guard in Rich Kelly, and he's been real good. It's
about 5 minutes ago was their biggest lead of the game, but now a 15-2 run by Iona to take their biggest lead.
And Iona switching back to man here to throw things off. And I like that. Yeah, that's a walk. That's
Patrick Ewing style right there in Madison Square Garden, what he used to do going across the lane.
A little happy feet he got away with.
McGill rebounded by Daniels.
And back to that zone. I mean, I like what Coach Cruz does there. Dunleavy calls a timeout. He's prepping for this zone, and then he goes into man, and now they're back to zone.
Rigoni buries the triple. Jacob Rigoni is a 51% three-point shooter, 10th in the NCAA.
He's got to get more shots. That's what that tells me.
Griffin, good defense by Rigoni. Really quite a find for Quinnipiac. They never saw him in person. They saw him with the Australian national team against some high-level competition. Quinnipiac was his only visit. They signed him. He's been terrific for them.
And they saw him on film, and it was that easy.
McGill drives to the rim and scores. Ricky McGill, the first player in this game into double figures with 10 points. Young, rebounded by Idogi. The tempo has definitely increased. Quick three. Out of bounds to Quinnipiac.
And that's to Iona's benefit.
Jacob Rigoni.
Donovan Mitchell giving him a shout, and it's nice to see them really taking little Trey under their wing and encouraging him.
The best players in the world have taken notice of Trey Young. Young! Cameron Young, another big-time jam. 11 for Cam Young, including a couple of highlight reel dunks and a turnover. Quinnipiac, 6-4 in the MAC, picked last in the preseason poll. Down 2 to Iona here near the midway point of the second half. Young through traffic. It's Aaron Robinson. Long rebound hits the floor. Robinson to Daniels and stripped away by Casimir.
And there were no box outs there on Iona's side. And Casimir just easily pops his finger in here, but how about that last play? Cam Young with a beautiful flush from the top of the key, too. I mean, it takes one dribble for him to get from behind the arc to the basket with so much ease, and he's so athletic.
Yet another close game for Quinnipiac. 9 games this season decided by 2 points or less, 6-3 record in those 9 games. One close game after another. Young could have been goaltended. I think it was. They'll count the basket. So a chance for three after the foul on Casimir.
And that ball's on the way down. It's the right call. And he probably would have made it with the way that he's shooting the ball.
Chance for the Bobcats to take the lead.
And this is a really great response from Quinnipiac, and that's why this game is such a good test for them. A high-quality team on their home floor. They've played a lot of these home games, or excuse me, these tight games.
8-2 run now for Quinnipiac. 14 for Young to lead all scorers. Idogi long-range jumper. Not really his specialty. Instead, it's Casimir who knocks down the triple. Cedric Casimir's a 47% three-point shooter, second in the MAC behind Rigoni.
And Cedric always knocks him in at very appropriate times. He's got such a swag, and he's a guy that wants the ball in his hands in crunch situations.
Washington. Griffin comes away with the board. Oh, what a move by Idogi.
What a play. Idogi's been a game changer tonight. His intensity, what he's added defensively here at the top, and then offensively being aggressive.
Iona back up by 4. It's Robinson. Weak side rebound for Rigoni. Washington. Well long, an air ball. Casimir the rebound. Iona will push. Much big three. He got it. This is Iona basketball. A quick spurt and a 7-point lead. Quinnipiac has only one timeout left. Young to the rim again, and he scores. 16 for Young.
And he's continued to respond with Iona going on these runs.
It's been a half of runs. Each team, the seesaw kind of going back and forth. Casimir wide open. Daniels the board. Young again, he's fouled.
And Iona continues to extend this lead a little bit. And so there's a lot of jockeying for positions. And the highest, the best team in this conference can lose to the worst team, record-wise. So that makes it fun.
Elsewhere, you talk about a situation like that. Canisius near the top of the league, losing at Marist right now in the middle of the second half, as Young makes 2. Niagara, one of the top teams in the league, losing at the last place team right now, St. Peter's. They're down in the second half. They're all close games. Anything goes in the MAC this year. No standout team.
St. Peter's is not 2-8. I mean, they're not that bad. And they've been in everything, just have come up short.
Offensive foul on Lewis.
And that's the right call. I mean, you got to pull up there and have that mid-range jumper ready.
So after falling behind by 7, Quinnipiac scores 4 in a row to get back to within 1 possession. Under 8 minutes to go here in New Rochelle. Robert Lee, Julianne Vianney with you, our entire crew. From the Heinz Center at Iona College. Young is the game's high scorer. And he will add to that total. He's up to 20 points.
And he's got the green light, and he certainly loves it when the lights are on him in general. He's not afraid of the moment. Plays with no fear.
Came into the game 5th in the MAC at 17.5 points a game. He did not score a single point in 8 total minutes last season. And he has been, simply put, a revelation for this Quinnipiac program. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Much. Bundu the rebound.
Really tough possession there defensively for Quinnipiac, forcing that bad shot. He had nowhere to go.
Bobcats can take the lead again. On the road against an Iona team that's 6-1 at home this season. Quinnipiac going for its 4th win in a row. Tipped in the air. Oh, what a play by Lewis. Tremendously athletic to save it. It's Much, quick fire 3. And Rigoni the long rebound. Much gets that shot off so quickly.
He doesn't need any room, and the best time to take it is in transition. The defense scrambling, just couldn't put it in that time, but he's done it plenty.
Rigoni offensive foul. Saturday on ESPN, we've got the basketball version of the Red River rivalry, 6:15 Eastern, 5:15 Central, when Trae Young and the 12th ranked Sooners take on Texas. Then it's a Big Ten matchup at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, number 5 Michigan State in Indiana. Both games on ESPN and live on the ESPN app.
Oh, that Texas-Oklahoma game. Oklahoma, they've lost their last few road games. Texas going home after that heartbreaking loss we mentioned earlier. That Texas Tech game, man.
There's another foul on Rigoni. It'll be his 3rd. He is the first player in the game with 3 fouls.
Rigoni just uses a little bit of extra body while he's moving laterally.
6-0 run for Quinnipiac. Iona scoreless the last 3 minutes. Casimir gets them back on the board. 14 for Casimir.
Casimir's got that nice touch on his shot. Sometimes it's like that rainbow shot, but he makes them.
5 minutes to go from New Rochelle. Rigoni, he finishes in traffic. Not just a 3-point shooter, Jacob Rigoni has 10.
He's a super competitive player, which is why he gets so many minutes. But sometimes I think he's a little bit of a defensive liability because who he's covering tends to get shots off and also able to take him off the dribble.
Roland Griffin up to 10 points now. They're keeping Young out of the play. Now he's got it late in the shot clock. Young one-on-one with Adoki. 2 to shoot. Contested 3. Gets it up on the rim. McGill the rebound. Casimir contested 3. Good board there by Adoki. Iona will reset. No, they won't. Griffin will lay it in. Roland Griffin with 12.
This is when Iona can be lethal. You allow them to get extra possessions. That way, offensive rebounds, and you can be in trouble.
Key stretch here for Quinnipiac. Iona trying to build this lead and perhaps put it out of reach. Washington attacks the rim. Foul.
And this has been a
4 out of 22. Iona just 4 out of 14. Washington, a 63% free throw shooter. Williamsport, PA, the Penn State transfer. Calmly makes 2, has 6 points for the game, and pulls Quinnipiac within 3. This is the only time these teams will meet this season. So the winner of this game has the tiebreaker if they finish tied in the final standings. Quinnipiac is starting a stretch in which each of its next 4 games are against the top 4 teams in the league. McGill, tough shot, rebounded by Rigoni. 3 of those games are on the road. They host Ryder on Sunday and then out west to Buffalo to take on Niagara and Canisius next weekend. Down 3 here against the 2-time defending champs. Young zigzagging, keeps the dribble. Dangerous pass, stolen. McGill, full speed ahead. Griffin will rock the rim.
The careless passing for Quinnipiac, leading to an easy layup on the other end. That's been the story. Too many turnovers. That's the 13th Quinnipiac turnover.
Daniels is fouled. There would not be a shooting foul.
And this is what happens when you turn the ball over. You get a guy like Ricky McGill in the open court, able to pass off to his teammate, and Roland Griffin with the finish, who's playing with a lot more confidence the last few games.
Both teams still have fouls to give here, so keep that in mind if Quinnipiac is forced to foul. Quinnipiac has only 14 fouls this half. Just about 2 minutes to go now. 2-possession game. Who do you go to here? Does it go through Young?
100%.
Instead, it's a turnover.
Young and Shays Daniels have both been pretty solid. Now, Shays Daniels in the second half has been held in check, and they haven't been able to get quite as much out of him.
Hasn't scored.
Underneath, exactly. So I think that's a big deal and a really great effort defensively on him. He was getting easy putbacks in the first half.
8 second-half turnovers for Quinnipiac, including back-to-back possessions at a key juncture in the game. 5-point lead for Iona with the ball. Looking perhaps for that knockout punch here. McGill lost it. Down to 3 on the shot clock. With 1, McGill lays it up and in. Somehow got a layup with half a second on the shot clock.
That took a lot of energy, too. He almost lost the ball, and then he dribbled all the way to the basket from half court.
Might be the biggest bucket of the game, extends the lead to 7. Quinnipiac needs a basket and gets it with Daniels, his first points of the second half.
Appropriate timing. They needed that basket bad.
The senior delivers. And now, Quinnipiac has to start fouling because they only have 5 fouls now.
And this was that last play. McGill nearly loses the basketball, chases after it at the half-court line, and then he gets all the way to the rim. Nobody's stopping him. So quick off the bounce, but definitely an upper-class move from the point guard.
And they'll give another foul here. Young, it's his second. Check that, his third.
1 minute.
1 minute to go. Now, if Quinnipiac fouls again, it will put Iona at the line for 1-1. And it looks like they are going to foul because they're bringing in Aaron Robinson to replace Cameron Young, their leading scorer.
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, they're going to have to force Iona to beat them at the line and get some opportunities on the other end.
And Casimir's an excellent free throw shooter, so you really don't want to foul him. They will foul McGill. That's good coaching right there. You don't want to foul Casimir. He's about 90% for his career. McGill is 70%, but it's just not quite 90%.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to make the effort to foul the right guy.
It only took about 6 seconds off the clock. McGill is a 70% shooter. This will be 1-1. Young back in now.
Ricky McGill, 1-1.
Preseason second-team All-MAC selection is going to be one of the top candidates to be first-team All-MAC at the end of the season. 4th in the MAC in assists, 5th in steals, 8th in scoring.
And he's also a key defensively because he had to guard top opponents on the other end of the floor. Takes a lot out of you to do both.
Extends the lead to 7 with 50 seconds left. Young attacking the rim, and he scores again. 22 points for Cam Young. And they'll have to foul Casimir this time because he was in the open court. Sports Center tonight at 1 a.m. Eastern. How the Warriors responded to being blown out Tuesday, visiting the Kings in Sacramento. The Blazers' C.J. McCollum's first game since scoring 50 points on the road against the Raptors. And Barry Melrose breaks down Ovechkin versus Crosby as the Caps and Penguins meet in Pittsburgh. Sports Center after Warriors-Kings and on the ESPN app.
That Warriors game was shocking. Utah blew them out. And Quinn Snyder, their coach, such a solid coach. He's one of the better ones in the league.
Casimir missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Quinnipiac has life. Oh, and they're going to say it was out of bounds off of Young. They'll go to the monitor to check.
And that is reviewable, so they'll certainly take a look.
They'll try to force a turnover first. Nope. Foul before the play even started.
Foul number 15, Rich Kelly.
Rich Kelly, the foul.
Kelly, 9th on the team.
I believe it will put Casimir to the line. He just missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
Cameron Young, number 1, out here for Quinnipiac, replacing Aaron Robinson. And on the line for the Gales, number 4, Cedric Casimir, 1-and-1.
He'll have another 1-and-1 here. That was the 9th foul against Quinnipiac. He missed again.
Surprising for him.
An 83% free throw shooter. Rigoni, a big three, bangs it home. Jacob Rigoni makes it a 2-point game.
Casimir having a hard time with it, so they're going to McGill.
They foul McGill. Robinson picks up the foul.
And both teams have done tremendous in close games, so they're both experienced in this category. Quinnipiac, 9 games decided by 2 points or less. So similar in that scenario throughout the season.
The arrow favors Iona. Quinnipiac is out of timeouts. Iona still has 2. Ricky McGill to the line. Wow. 3 straight misses for Iona from the line.
And that's a team that shoots well. They shoot in the high 70s.
76%, first in the MAC as a team. And regardless, even if he makes it, it'll be a 1-possession game. It seems unlikely they'll get an offensive rebound because they don't have anybody on the lane. So at best, it'll be a 3-point lead. At worst, it would be a 2-point lead, and Quinnipiac will have the ball. Svanderlik in for Idoki. Missed again. 4 straight misses for Iona. Quinnipiac to tie or take the lead. Young to the rim, blocked and foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Svanderlik doesn't think he got him. Svanderlik here, he's behind the play.
Much expected for the Bobcats. This is not the worst team in the league. They are ahead of schedule, playing extremely well. Young now has 23 points, 16 in the second half, and he can tie the game here.
So cool, calm, and collected. He has had a game.
This would tie the game. Couldn't get the roll. Have to foul now. Have to foul. Time coming off the clock, 13 seconds left. Idoki hammers it. Still 11 seconds left, a 3-point game. Quinnipiac needs a 3, final 10 seconds. Young will shoot a 3 for the tie, bangs it home! Cameron Young clutch. 3 seconds left, timeout Iona. What a sequence.
First off, I cannot believe.
Lewis still inbound with Daniels guarding the ball. Lewis bounces it in for Griffin. 2 seconds left. Griffin all the way to the rim, lost the ball. Overtime. Athletic Conference basketball. Quinnipiac in the dark jerseys, Iona in the white. Quinnipiac comes in 5th place in the league. Iona is tied for 3rd. Cameron Young, a senior from Los Angeles, has been the man for the Bobcats. It's Rigoni from deep. Bang. Jacob Rigoni was 16.
I'll tell you what, he's made some big shots this year, and none bigger than the ones in this game, with his 2 threes way deep behind the arc, just showing that grit.
4 out of 5 from beyond the arc now is Griffin, the long-range jumper.
And I'm sure Griffin wishes he could have made that one at the end of that regulation there.
Daniels off the nice feed, out of bounds to the Bobcats. Nine on the shot clock. Down to 6. Young runs over a man, shoots a 3 and buries it. Career high 29 points for Cameron Young. Offensive foul.
All the momentum here on Quinnipiac's favor. And it all starts
for Idoki. He's out of the game. E.J. Crawford back in. Quinnipiac up 4 early in overtime. Thanks to Cameron Young. He and Rigoni have been the offense. Inside for Daniels. Daniels was fouled.
Oh, he's got his hands all over him.
Coming up next on ESPNU, Horizon League basketball, UIC versus Oakland. It's currently on ESPN News. We'll send it out to Jordan Burnfield and Brooke Weisbrod when we're done here. Daniels to the line. 1 out of 2 tonight.
And he's been a warrior underneath.
"13 points for Shays Daniels, and it's a 6-point lead for Quinnipiac.
Iona's going to look back at this game and just shake their head over free throws.
Missed 4 in a row down the stretch, including 2 1-and-1s. Griffin scored in a foul. 18 for Griffin.
He's come up big here in the overtime. Hit the first bucket of OT, and then off of this isolation play on the right side. Nobody over there, just him, one-on-one against Daniels, and he just elevates over him. And he's a matchup problem, because when he gets a big like Daniels on him, he can take him out, he can face up, take him to the basket, and he can post up smaller guys.
Iona just missed another free throw.
It's been the story.
If they lose the game, as McGill fouls, that'll put Young back to the line.
Quinnipiac's making theirs.
Tim Klus not pleased with the way the home stretch has gone in this game. To the line, Cameron Young, a team best 77% free throw shooter, has a chance for his first career 30-point game. Missed the front end. That was the 9th foul against Iona. So missed opportunity for the Bobcats. McGill blows by Daniels, and he's fouled.
A lot of time left here. McGill's super quick, and again, he abuses Daniels off the bounce. This has happened twice in a row with Daniels in the other play. Before that, Griffin taking it at him, and then that play, he got stuck covering McGill. And if at all possible, since he's the back line defensively, sometimes he gets caught with a mismatch.
I think that's 6 free throws in a row Iona has missed now.
And now it's become a head game. Now it's just contagious.
Finally, McGill. By my count, that was 6 in a row they had missed. McGill with 15 points. Full court press stolen, but right back into Daniels. Still plenty of time to go here. 3 minutes left. Young hit the bottom of the rim. Who wants the rebound? Everybody wants it, and it's a jump ball. The arrow will favor Iona.
A great hustle here by both teams. Efforting the rebound, efforting the opportunity, the loose ball. And this one is going Iona's direction. Everybody on the floor. Young, Svanderlick. He looks like he got bumped.
Under 3 minutes to go in overtime. Here comes that dribble handoff weave action for Iona. Leads to an open Much three, and he knocks it down. Ties the game. Sixth tie of the game. Pass deflected. Gales have it. Much sheds one player. And they'll set it up with under 2 minutes to go.
What a shot, though, by Much. Coming off that flare screen.
Griffin down the lane. Good defense there by Daniels. Rigoni the rebound. Each team has one timeout left now with a minute and a half to go. Young looking for the shot here with 10 to shoot. Young turns it over again. Much the rack attack. And rebounded by Young. Both teams coming up empty.
But Quinnipiac lucky on that possession in the one before. 2 turnovers in a row.
Baker Dunleavy calls out a play. The first-year head coach of the Bobcats. Close out on Rigoni. Washington muscles it up. Rebounded by Crawford.
Totally scoreless for both teams the last several possessions.
No timeouts either way.
Your best bet here is to attack and get to the line.
Much does just that and scores.
Couple of huge buckets from Deshaun Much.
Quinnipiac down 2. They're going to call a timeout. Quinnipiac will use its final timeout.
Has proven time and time again that he can hit the clutch shot. So don't force it.
Don't want to take too much time. Down to 18 seconds left. Young trying to set up the play to Daniels.
That's a mismatch.
He's guarded by Much. Daniels pulls his way in and scores with 7.5 seconds.
And Much trying to draw the charge there, and not the smart thing to fall over, because then they let Daniels wide open.
I think there was a timeout.
Up here, Roland Griffin has had a nice overtime too.
3 seconds left. McGill for the win. Double overtime.
That's the end of the first overtime.
A lot of contact. Tip won by the Bobcats. Rigoni steps back for 3. Rebound, Young, kicked off the leg. Much has it, it's tied up, no. Young digs it out. Fresh shot clock.
Here's where you might see some tired legs from distance.
Kelly, the open three. Rebounded by Casimir. Casimir stops on a dime.
All three shots are short, so both teams feeling it.
Much as it hit the top of the basket support. And it'll go back over to Quinnipiac. Currently on ESPN News, UIC in Oakland will head there once we finish up here in New Rochelle. That game currently on ESPN News. Just underway in double overtime. Young has not gotten a shot up in some time.
A good defensive possession here.
3 to shoot. Dragoni at the buzzer. Well off the mark. Rebounded by Much. Crawford has been quiet, has only 4 points.
Crawford's got size here.
Another empty possession.
Quick shots. Not enough movement. You see some static play here.
You see some players just simply walking up the court right now.
There's tired legs, 100%.
Not been a lot of substituting here over the last 10 to 15 minutes of game action. Daniels draws another foul.
And Daniels has been a consistent force on the block.
A lot of tired legs out there. Shays Daniels will go back to the line where he's 3 out of 4. 15 points and 8 boards for Daniels in this battle. How hard is it when you're tired to shoot jump shots or shoot shots that aren't layups?
You've got to focus on using your legs. And that was a lot of arm. And you can't start pushing the ball with your arm, but focus on the legs. It's always all in the lower part of your body.
Big misses for Daniels. Still no scoring here in double overtime. Crawford step back, foot on the line.
And not a good shot. And I know Tim Cruz is not happy. He turned over to Crawford. It's not the kind of shot they want.
Cameron Young, another rebound. He has a double-double. His 4th of the season.
And nobody has scored yet.
Dragoni passed up the 3. Into the lane. Daniels couldn't get it to go. Griffin the rebound. 3 minutes into a double overtime. Still no scoring. Crawford trying to change that. He will.
What a finish.
Cameron Young has not gotten a shot up in a long time. He is the game's high scorer. He'll shoot the 3. Long rebound to Daniels. To an open Washington, and he's fouled.
Well, Crawford got lost defensively. But E.J. Crawford in the possession before that with a really nice finish in traffic for the first bucket of overtime. It took 3 minutes to get a basket for either team.
Washington is a 63% free throw shooter this season. He is, however, 2 out of 2 tonight. 1 out of 2 for Quinnipiac. 1-point game. Minute 20 to go. McGill shoots, no, passed it, and turns it over. Quinnipiac will walk it up the court with 1 minute to go, down by 1.
Another poor percentage shot there, an empty possession.
Young guarded by the smaller Casimir. It's Rigoni. Washington had it blocked to Iona. They'll go to the monitor.
A tough shot, and then you're going to get the ball back. There's still plenty of time for a second possession.
Griffin going one-on-one, runs into Daniels and scores.
That's a great shot. Griffin has shot over top of Daniels several times, and there is a size. If you're wide open for a three, then by all means, the right person can take it.
Almost fouled Young.
And you've got to switch everything if you're Iona.
Kelly deflected out of bounds with 26 seconds left.
And everything's got to be switched on the perimeter. You can give up a 2 if you're Iona, but you cannot give up a 3.
McGill back into the game for Iona, replacing Casimir.
A little offense, defense here. If I have it, and then foul it.
Wide open, Young lays it in, beautiful play.
That couldn't have been a better situation and worse defense. But I think for Iona, they just didn't want to give up a 3, so they were more concerned with that outside than they were with the layup.
Now that Baker Dunleavy, you call a timeout there, you draw up a play, it works to perfection, you get the easiest bucket possible. 31 for Young.
Well, he was clearly going for the 2, and it was open, and that was a tremendous execution. But now Iona forced to win it at the line, where we've seen them miss a lot tonight.
So an immediate foul by Quinnipiac with 21 seconds left. And the foul was actually called on Washington. It's his second, not Rigoni, as was announced. It'll be Zach Lewis at the line, a 67% free throw shooter. This will be his first attempt of the game.
And he's been shooting the ball well. So he is one of the guys that you'd want to see at the line. He's got quite a stroke.
Quinnipiac has no timeouts left. Iona has 1. So Quinnipiac has to get it and go. Lewis, clutch free throws, has 11 points. 3-point game. Still enough time that you don't necessarily need a 3. You got to get a score, you got to get it quickly.
And you see they're going to switch this and double it.
Rigoni from about 30. Rebound volleyed in the air. Lewis has it. Throws it ahead for McGill with 4 seconds left. McGill lays it in. Last chance for Quinnipiac. Gales win 87-82 in double overtime.
What a nail biter that one was.